Good evening. Who are the Vril? I'm sure you all have heard about the Vril. They've made movies about the Vril, and I've always heard that they were kind of like an humanoid-looking being, alien-like, extraterrestrial, whatever you'd want to call them. I've always heard and seen like pictures of them being human-like. But is that really a true representation of who they are? Is that body that the pictures we see of them, is it just a host? That's what I was looking at on the computer. The Vril. There's many images, you all. There's lots and lots of images and lots of different types of representations of what they could possibly look like, and how technologically advanced, how powerful they are. And some say that, they could be malevolent. Some say that they could be benevolent beings, but I just want to look at it from a different point of view. I found something where it says the Vril, a mystical fluid substance. That's strange. That's strange right there, you all. I just want to tell you that's strange, just even thinking that the Vril could be a mystical fluid substance. It really is kind of strange. I am a little late getting on here, but that's okay. Hello, everyone. Hello there, Susan B. Honey. Yeah, you all. So let me come over here. Creators, you see this thing right here? Like, why is this popping up on here? Now would be a good time to insert ads. Creators earn more money inserting ads the more the viewers are watching. Give it a try. That's new. I only have an ad at the very beginning, you all. Hello, you all. Good evening. I'm sorry I'm so late. I've just been doing stuff. Yeah, the Vril is a species that came from Mars. Hello, Indigo Mama. Yeah, so let's just let's just do this really fast if I can. Put this back to me, because it brought up a lot of images of the Vril. Let's go look at it just a little bit. They got the Vril, The Coming Race, is a novel by Buller Lytton, published anonymously. Why was it published anonymously? In 1871, it's been published as Vril, The Power of the Coming Race. Are we on there? Because I want to be on there. Some readers have believed the account of a superior subterranean master race and the energy form called Vril. Vril. So they're talking about an energy form called Vril. So that's interesting. They use that particular phrase, an energy form. So a subterranean master race, I would think that, that would literally have like a, I don't know, some kind of body and stuff like that. I wouldn't think of it as something different. But then the very next thing, an energy form called Vril, at least in part. Some theosophists, notably Helena William Scott, they accepted the book as based on the occult truth. The Morning of the Magicians, and a secret Vril society existed in Weimar, Berlin. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, it is. So I just now read this part. This is the first time I saw this part. I've heard of like a subterranean master race, but I never heard about this part, the energy form called the Vril. So let's look over here, you all. Hello. Yeah, it's great to be on here. It really is. So here's some of the images. I don't know who these people are, you all. I don't. That looks like a some kind of a chart. It does, like a chart thing. Let's see this. So, Vril, yeah. Oh my gosh, wow, they look human. Deviant art. The Vril Society, Part 1. Looked like she got something. I don't know. What about this, you all? So, the real life Vrilia. Okay, you've got these people separating the truth from fiction. Is that Henry Kissinger right there, you all? Does that look like him? Top secret writers. It kind of looks like him. What is, or I don't know who that man is. Let's look at this really fast. I don't know what this is. January of 2013. It was a secret culture that was formed by a group of female psychic mediums, and they were established by the Thule Society, Occultists, National, yeah. So, let's see this. They claim to have received communication from Aryan aliens that were living on Aldebaran, a giant red star located approximately 65 light years away in the zodiac constellation of Taurus. So did someone say on here they come from Mars? Would you consider Mars red? Is that what you were talking about? Mars, they came from Mars, red. Well, I've never really, I don't think I've really talked about this, or even really, I might have mentioned it before, but I never really looked into it. But there's a reason for everything. There really is. These aliens, according to literature about the Vril Society, had visited Earth and settled in Sumeria, ancient Iraq, and the word Vril had been founded from the ancient Sumerian word Vril, which means like God. I didn't know that. I haven't heard this part before. But if we were talking about Samaria in ancient ancient Iraq, Iraq, that is that area all over there, it has a lot of history, a lot. Everybody knows it's there's something there, or there wouldn't be things happening over there if it didn't have a lot of history. Artifacts and energy and all of that kind of stuff. The Eye of Horus. Yeah, I've seen some images about the Eye of Horus. I really did. So let's see about this. The main objective was to reach Aldebaran, and in order to reach this part of outer space, they allegedly taught concentration exercises to awaken the forces of the Vril, to reach the place where their alien, godlike creatures lived. The story goes that the Vril Society joined forces with the Thule Society in order to finance their determined mission to Aldebaran, and in an interdimensional space flight machine. Oh, wow. Which had been formed on psychic revelations from the aliens. An interdimensional space flight machine. Well, I'm sure they've got them. I really am sure they've got them. This sounds so wild, you all. Let me put this in here. I'm going to just put it, where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it over here, because I put it right here for you all to see, right there. Let's save it right there, you all. That way it's in there for you. Yeah, that's in there for you all. Oh, you all, I seen that word butterscotch, LJ Gems. I did. I seen that word butterscotch, so I know what you're talking about, because I briefly read something like that. Where on earth am I at, you all? I've got all these things on here. That's okay, you all. We got this right here. A troublesome topic. The Vril Society, according to Echoes of Enoch, included Adolf Hitler, Heinrich Himmler, Alfred Rosengarten, Hermann Göring. 1933. It's believed both the Vril Society and the Thule received state funding and the development of the flight machine in order to reach the aliens. Wow. It's weird. The story certainly has all the credentials of a blockbuster movie, a sci-fi book, and fantastical connotations, so it's not surprising to learn that the roots and inspiration of this society came from a science fiction book. Well, I think it was probably a real book and they just labeled it as science fiction. 1870, The Power of the Coming Race. It described an underground culture of angel-like creatures which possessed a mysterious and limitless power and all permeating fluid. There's that word again, known as the Vril. So is this, you all, let's think about this. Do you see that? So is that the Vril? Is it truly the all-permeating fluid? Is that really what is called the Vril and not just the beings? Could that be? That's what I'm wondering. Could it be? You read that book? Yeah, the coming race. Hello there, Johnny Rodriguez. Superhuman. Yeah, that's right, you all. A permeating fluid. All this time, even since I've heard of the Vril, I thought it was, only like beings. That's all I thought. I thought it was only like beings, not a fluid, not something like a fluid. But it is like angel-like, what do they say, creatures? Can I say angel-like beings, which possessed a mysterious and a limitless power. So this hugely successful book continued that this superhuman race came to the planet Earth to look for a new place to settle, but in order to do so, they would, of course, have to destroy the human race. I did not hear that before, you all. Did you hear that before? They would have to destroy the human race. Well, I don't think I like that. I really don't think I like that. That's not very nice. If you weren't here before this human race, especially if you didn't create this human race, why would you want to come to Earth and destroy it? That's not very nice. It's not, and it doesn't settle well with my spirit at all. It doesn't. So the Victoria era book sounds like it was the grounding for hordes of alien. Let me do this. It sounded like it was the grounding for the hordes of alien-inspired science fiction that has been produced over the decades, all sharing now somewhat laborious plot of aliens coming to Earth and attempting to wipe out the human race in order to take over the planet. Well, I don't think it's too far-fetched. I really don't. I think it sounds pretty sci-fi, but I think it sounds pretty real too. I really do. There's been too many movies about it, you all. There really is. And so, if we see something and we think, well, I'm seeing all these things happening, and I'm not thinking it's science fiction. I'm thinking something different because I see it happening. Yeah, so they shouldn't have published those books and showed those movies and all this kind of stuff, you all. They shouldn't try to hide stuff from us, or we wouldn't even be thinking that way. Even if they showed stuff like that, now we wouldn't even know nothing about it. But since they started talking about it, then I think we know stuff about it. In mentioning the name Vril as being a mysterious energy force, it's even more convincing that the book was the inspiration of his Vril Society. Are we over there, you all? Because sometimes I push this button and it doesn't push me over here. That's what I'm thinking, because I pushed this split screen. Okay, I might have pushed it. Yes. So let's look at this, you all. This is really neat. I'm glad that came to my mind. I really am. So what is less established is whether or not the Vril Society did actually exist. In the book, Conspiracy Theories and Secret Societies for Dummies, the author referred to the Vril Society as a troublesome topic. Why would he refer to it as a troublesome topic? If there was nothing to it, why would it be troublesome? If it had no truth whatsoever, you all, let's think about this. Why would it be troublesome if there was no truth to it? If it was just fantasy and sci-fi? Really, what is like that? So the Vril Society is a troublesome topic because there's no authentic proof that this secret society really existed, even though there's no shortage of people who claim that it did. Aha, so we have eyewitnesses, we have first-hand accounts of people. So I guess that's very troublesome because he probably didn't want to talk about it, really, because he didn't want to get himself in trouble, probably. Let's look at this. So several, let's see this book right here. Is this book right here? It looks kind of, hey, that looks like that NASA thing of the stereo ahead UV 171. It's the blue one. That's what that reminds me of, a stereo ahead UV 171, you all. Let me see if I can find it. Stereo ahead UV 171. Let's go look at it. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Let's come over here to look at it. Right here, stereo ahead UV 171. That's what it looks like right there. Yeah, it does. Looks just like that. So yeah, that's okay. We can look at that. Oh my goodness gracious, you all. Yeah, so let's look at this. So several authors claim the Vril Society actually exists. One such individual who claimed the Vril Society existed was the German rocket scientist and science fiction author Willy Lee, who fled Germany and came to the United States in 1935. In an article published in 1937, Ley wrote about a group called the, let me see if I can get it, Wahrheitsgesellschaft, Society of Truth, which had been formed to build a spacecraft in order to locate the real existence of the Vril. Yeah, so Ley certainly wasn't the only author who claimed the Vril Society existed. In 1960, authors Louis Podwells and Jacques Bergier published a book called The Morning of the Magicians. In the book, the authors insist that the Vril Society was the originator of the you-know-what. And we won't say it, because we don't have to say it. We can read it. We can read it. Yeah, Shelley, honey, you caught me live. Yes, you did. So, you all, this is really interesting. I hope you all like this subject matter because I'm learning something. I like a good science fiction reading. I do. If that's what they want to call it. Sure, I like reading about it. You want to call it science fiction. I like science fiction. Don't you all like it? Yeah, I think we love it. We love it. Yes, we do. Even more far-fetched is the summarize that the Vril Society did manage to build a spaceship and the V7, which they managed to fly and communicate with the aliens. Then, at the end of World War II, the story goes that the Vril Society took its spaceship and immigrated to a secret underground base in Antarctica. Oh, we were talking about Antarctica last night, you all. We really were. I was talking about, like in 2004, you know, the United States went on very high alert because they seen a fleet of UFOs coming out of the Southern Ocean around Antarctica. You all, do you remember that last night? If you didn't watch that video, we talked about that. A fleet of UFOs coming out of the Southern Ocean, and they say there's been a secret war, UFO war, and you know these UFOs. I think it was in 1980? Was it 1991? 1991. If you didn't see the video last night, 1991, a fleet of UFOs, they went to Mexico and they were all in the air. People were filming them. They were shown by the news in the United States, didn't show their people nothing. Nothing, not even that much. Hush, hush. They shadow banned it. So anyhow, let's get back to this. So yeah, they talked about Antarctica. The aliens, the occult, and black magic are not things that one immediately associates with the you-know-whos, with the you-know-whats, and all this prevailing associations. Although when you combine the aliens and the spaceships and top secret organizations and science fiction book published in the late 1800s, the outcome is certainly intriguing, you all. It's extremely, extremely intriguing, don't you think so? Yes, it's so intriguing. It is, you all. That's right, you all. I have not read this before. I haven't. So this is a good ending to my day to read some stuff. You trying to understand the psychopathic reign of evil and terror is perhaps more the graspable under the belief that a mysterious world of aliens, you are, yes. Sorcery and the supernatural, yes, played a part in the motivation. And, we don't want to talk about it. No, we don't. We don't like it. We don't like that one single bit, what was done. We don't. That's right. And we've got, it was pure evil. And if they want to say the Vril did it, the aliens did it in sci-fi or something, they can say it. They sure can say it. Other than a handful of individuals, namely the authors, making claims that the Vril Society existed, there is no authentic or concrete evidence to back up the claims. Well, you know what? You don't have to have scientific proof. You got to leave room for other things, too. Yeah, that's exactly right. This suggests that the clandestine cult of the Vril Society, similar to the science fiction book it was based on, was nothing but highly imaginative fiction. Oh, dear goodness, you all, look at that. Yes, oh my goodness gracious, you all. Gabrielle Pickard, honey, thank you for your article. Yes, back in 2013. That's right. Thank you. That was nice of you because there was like a little book and you included like this Soho stereo ahead of you, V171 in there, you all, you did. So that's what came from. Is that what it came from? Separating truth from fiction, you all. Let's put this whole entire search thing in here so that when you come look at this, you can see even all the images that were associated with this very video. That's right. Lisa, honey, no, they don't imagine that like that. No, it's not. So that's right. Yeah, you are. Let's look. That's a pretty good one right there. That really was interesting. So since we read that one, I guess I've already clicked back out of it, you all, so we can see all this. So he obviously was absolutely possessed and taken over, you all, is what I think. Totally taken over. Now, what if this is like the Vril Iron Sky from Wiki Fandom. We can check into that. It's something different. Looking at that. No, I don't want to look at that, but the Vril is a race of extraterrestrial humanoid subterranean species possessing reptilian qualities, and they are located within the core of the planet Earth, ruling its inhabitants, and they are known to harness powerful energy known as the Vril. Here it is again, you all. How can you have a race of being physical bodies, and they're called the Vril, but they harness a powerful energy which is known as the Vril? So it sounds like this Vril is an energy. It is some type of a fluid-like substance that is inside these beings, and it takes over their body. That's what it sounds like. It takes over their body, their mind, and everything. That's what that sounds like, you all. And this is coming off Iron Sky, the coming race. I'm going to stick that in there too, you all. That's really what it sounds like to me. They take over the entire body. And, you know, it could be anything, I think. It really could be anything that they want to take over. Let's come back over here. So we looked at that. Let's go back over here. We don't need to look at that anymore. But these are like some of the pictures that we've seen. Look at that, the Vril. And, of course, we see these UFOs. What is this? This is like got some eyes on it and stuff, you all. It does. Now, what the HE double hockey sticks is the Vril? Is that really a comic? Let's look at that, you all. How old is that comic? Well, see, that's from 2013 too. Why is that there? Welcome to another one of these. I'm trying something a little different. And with it fashioned out of mud, the dragon Ogadoru Jahad, the Watchers, gathered round the beast and set their seals upon it. The stolen fire was the pit. From mud, Anam fashioned 7 dragons. The Ogdru Jahad, and placed the stolen fire inside of them. This was the first life on earth, and more quickly followed the Ogdru Jahad, birth 369 Ogdru-him. The Watchers went to war against Ogdru-him, and when the creatures were finally defeated, An-Num again reached up with his right hand and with the Vril power sealed away Ogdru Jahad and cast them into the abyss. Who is An-Num? Anam? I really don't know who Anam is. I've heard people recently. Yo, am I talking too loud? I got to get these knee pads off my knees. I'm getting hot. Who is Anam? I've heard people mention them recently, and I don't know who it would be. But I heard of the Watchers. I have heard of the Watchers. Adam. Is that who that is? Hellboy comics. I seen a movie of that a long time ago, one of their things, and I'm taking these pads off my knees because I'm okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but I did, Lisa, honey. I took them off. I've been wearing them all day long. I have. I've been wearing them all day long. So, so Annam was later killed by the other Watchers, but the secret of using Vril was not lost with him. Thoth! Oh, look, there's Thoth, or Tho, the last king of the Hyperboreans, the first race of man. You all, I'm sorry, I did not push that over. This is really cool. I never heard of this comic before. I want to straighten up my chair. This is really cool, you all. I hope this is all right. This is neat. I never really read comics, so this is great. Thoth, the last king of the Hyperboreans, the first race of man, captured 3 Watchers and kept them in a garden in the city of Gorinium of the Hyperborean capital. From them he learned much, including the summoning, use, and using of the Vril. Oh, did we stick this multiverse? Did we stick this in here, you all? Because this needs to go in this right here. It really does. There's a lot of stuff on here that we can research with. It really is. Let's find this, you all. Where am I at? Okay. So this is right here, you all. So 3 angels Hey, it's the Watchers. Is this in the book of Enoch? Are these the ones who got thrown down out of heaven in the book of Enoch? They lost their place, the seven, or whoever they were. The Watchers, these angels, watchers, cast down and abandoned by their Creator for their crimes of pride and murder. From these angels learned all the workings of the universe and all the words, signs, and devices of power. Okay. Oh my gosh. So Hecate, as the Hyperboreans knew her, Heka-Emen-Ra, wait, seduced Thoth and murdered the three watchers, and with their blood she wrote their secrets on the walls of Thoth's temple, so that any could learn them, and those that learned what was written became the priests and the kings of Hyperborea, and they worshipped the black goddess. Within 1,000 years, Hyperborea had fallen into ruin, and Og drew him. Og. King Og? Are they talking about King Og? There's like a biblical King Og who was the last of the giants. Yeah. I think it was. Yeah. So Hyperborea had been for 100,000 years, and the people left hand worshipped the black goddess, and in their fading years, Hyperborean priests passed on the knowledge of the Vril to the budding of the human race of man. He was very selective, and only a few were deemed worthy of his teachings, for he knew enough that Ogdru awoke in the world, and Ogdru would return. That's really interesting. It really is. So, you think there's some truth to this comic that they have? Do you think there is some? Oh no, they're talking about Prometheus. Wait a minute. In the Iron Prometheus set 1937, invented a device he called Annum's fork. It was a critical piece of prototype of VES. Annum's fork? The Vril transformed him into a deathless, newly evolved superhuman. He transferred who? We're talking about Annum's fork was taken by MMC Say and used on a volunteer. The Vril had profoundly different effect on this man, transforming him into a dragon. And this is not an isolated incident. When the Vril used it on frogs during the BPRD, the black goddess, they too transformed into dragons. The Vril, okay, so the Vril in the power of evil hands can only produce evil, but okay, so we got, I guess it depends on how you use, oh no, they're talking about hollow earth in this thing too. You all might want to read that link that in here. Now see, they're talking about a hollow earth in here. They are. Abe Sapiens and stuff like that. Hollow earth. Wow, this is what is a black flame. We know that the Vril is the secret flame. But there's another kind of flame that has played a major role in this person. Do you all watch that? I'm not going to talk anymore about this Hellboy. But do you think there's truth to that, you all? Really, do you think there's some truth to that? So we looked at that. I'm closing out of that. I'm closing out of this one right here. But I like to sometimes click into that because I think there's some truth in these things. So we're talking about the Vril. And we've already put this here. But let's look at this. This right here. The Coming Race by Edward Bulwer Lytton. So July the 24th of 2013. Edward Bulwer is known for many things. He coined the phrase "the pursuit of the almighty dollar." And the pen is mightier than the sword. He gave us the most infamous opening lines. It was a dark and stormy night. Okay, so it's interesting that his 1871 novel, I'm sorry, I did not flip the screen. I am sorry. I really am. I just get caught up in what I'm doing. I do. I'm sorry. The Power of the Coming Race, otherwise known as The Coming Race. That's right. In a short book. Oh, somebody mentioned this the other day. Very much like Willis George Emerson's 1908 novel, The Smoky God. It tells of an adventure in a cavernous hollow earth where an antediluvian civilization lives peacefully, driven by a mysterious source of power called the Vril. Yes. So can we take a peek at that, you all? If that's all right, I want to take a peek and look at that book. Whatever it's supposed to look because somebody mentioned that the other night. Let's look at this. Okay, it's popped up right here. Oh, they did a review of The Smoky God, Another Tale of Hollow Earth. Talking about his father lived among the people of the within world, deep beneath the earth's surface, and according to him, these are a great people, at least 12 feet tall, who live in a place of gold and sprawling fruit and vegetation. Everything is enormous. Not only are the people giants, but grapes are as large as oranges, apples larger than a man's head. And if you can imagine, there live toward the south 9 feet tall penguins. Haven't they just now found these really tall, like gigantic, I don't know, sea creatures and stuff like that? Something like that. So the inner world's strange climate was warm, where it rains once a day, and it's charged with highly charged electrical air. There's a density in the atmosphere, and it's what has led to the immense vegetation. I did it again. I did. I just kept on reading, and didn't see that you all could see, so that's what I did again. Yeah, I did it. I think I did it. The smoky god refers to the inner world's glowing, smoky sun, which lies at the very center of the planet. And speaking of which, in the book, he shares an estimation of the overall form of the hollow earth. It's about 300 miles in thickness from the inside to the outside. Relatively speaking, it is no thicker than an eggshell. So there is so much, almost as much surface on the inside as the outside. So the way it works, the nature of gravity is such that the people living within the earth are basically standing on the opposite side of the crust as we are, upside down from our point of view. And the mass from the hollow crust generates gravity on both sides. It's a strange concept. It does sound strange, you all. Does that not sound really strange to you? This has to be about the Vril, so I'm going to read it. I'm going to push this button. An ancient civilization. In this land beyond the north wind, the civilization is peaceful and good-natured. The inhabitants, not only extremely tall, they live to extraordinary ages. Both men and women frequently live to be 600 to 800 years old, and in some instances much older. Okay, pause. Pause right there, you all. So if they live to be 600 to 800 years old, then we have to talk about Methuselah. Was 969 years old. 969 years old. So was Methuselah one of these? Was he? He could have been. He really could have been 969 years old, because they say right here, inside this hollow earth, men and women frequently live to be 600 to 800 years old, and in some instances much older. That's like, and then Methuselah. Yes, they commute via an anti-gravity railroad. Enoch, the son of Methuselah. The flywheels in their rapid revolutions, destroying effectively the so-called power of gravitation. Is that Ezekiel's wheel within a wheel? This is really interesting. Finally, they speak in Sanskrit language, and they communicate over the airways, which they found difficult to describe. By some device, which I cannot explain, they hold communion with one another between the most distant part of the country on air currents. So it would seem they possess either radio or Wi-Fi. The smoky god, after people have read this, they say the people are related to biblical figures. Oh my gosh, you all! Such as Methuselah, who myth states lived to the age of 969 years old. And others suggest that they are the Atlanteans who fled to the inner earth after their civilization was destroyed. Or perhaps we're actually speaking of Argatha and the golden realm of the Tibetan Buddhist myth. Wow. Homeward bound? I just want to ask you, is this okay for us to be looking at, you all? I want to know if I put this on here. I really want to know if I put this on here, you all. So multiversity, no, we're going to put it in here right now because you want to read this. You really do, because this was a link within this thing. It was. Let's find this. Oh yeah, this is really interesting. So Olaf Johnson and his father lived with the giants beneath the earth for 2 full years before deciding to return home. They tried setting off to the north where they had entered, but found the cold winds pushing them south. So they traveled toward the South Pole, where, after many, many months, they returned to the surface. Unfortunately, they became trapped between the iceberg, and they found themselves at the mercy of the collapsing ice shelves, and his father died while he was left stranded on top of a floating iceberg. Eventually, he was saved by a passing fishing vessel, though his respite was short-lived. After sharing his story with the ship's captain, he was locked away, to be examined by the onboard physician. When he returned home, he was considered insane and placed in a madhouse. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely horrific. Horrific, you all. You know why they did that. They did not want the truth getting out. That is horrific to do that to somebody. Could you imagine? That's wrong. It makes me mad even reading it. It really does make me mad. They are the ones who need to be in the madhouse for not even thinking outside the box. Hello. So beyond question, this new land within is the home, the cradle of the human race. This is the final thoughts. I've always found his tale amusing, mostly because it often is used as evidence for the actual existence of Hollow Earth. But it is overall a story, and a fantastic one, that I cannot be sure that he was an actual person, although it may be called a true account. It is for all intents and purpose fiction. You all, that was really, really good. That was really good. I love that. I do love that. Where was we at? Oh, we was over here. We was over here talking about the Vril. It's a mysterious source of power called the Vril. This fluid is capable of being raised and disciplined into the mightiest agency over all forms of matter, animate or inanimate. It can destroy like the flash of lightning, yet differently applied. It can replenish and or invigorate life, heal, preserve, and of it they chiefly rely for the cure of disease, or rather enabling the physical organization to reestablish the due equilibrium of its natural powers and thereby cure itself. So The Coming Race is a work of fiction, no doubt, but one of strange historical importance. It was very popular in its time and inspired certain individuals, such as Helena Blavatsky, who took it as the truth, and it may have even led to the formation of the mythical Vril Society, if such thing existed, of course. I could give you a lengthy description of the underground realm and its people found in the Coming Race. Giant humanoids with sphinx-like faces and magical flying technologies. Again, very similar to the Smoky God, but that's not the interesting part. In fact, you can read the entire book for free on Kindle or online if you're interested. The concept of the Vril and the political ideologies found within the novel are much more compelling or troubling you all. So, if you got a Kindle, let's do this, you all. Let me put this link in here, you all. If you got a Kindle, I don't do the Kindle, but we can. You could read that. You really could read that because that's. I think there's some truth in this stuff, you all. There really is. So I've got that one in there. Let's see if we can get this other one in here. The online part. Let me open up the online part. Oh, they don't want you to read it. So you're going to have to go to the Amazon link. Okay, you are. So I'll just go ahead and save this part right here. So they don't want you to read it. That's called bit rot. So yeah, you are. So on the Vril right here. So this looks pretty interesting. There is no word in any language I know which is an exact synonym for Vril. I should call it electricity, except that it comprehends in its manifold branches other forces of nature, to which in our scientific nomenclature differing names are assigned, such as magnetism, galvanism, and yeah. As the narrator of The Coming Race told by his host, Vril is a mystical fluid substance that could be used seemingly for any purpose: to create, to destroy, to light up their caverns and power their technology. More importantly, upon its discovery, it ended all conflict. It ended any idea of superiority, as anyone could wield it. If army met army, and both had command of this agency, it could be but to the annihilation of each. Forms of government also vanished, save the existence of a chosen, though undistinguished magistrate. Not all in the subterranean caverns beneath the earth wielded the Vril, but those who did were called the Vrilya, who carries staves through which they could control its power. It is hollow, and it has in the handle several stops, keys or springs by which it can the force can be altered, modified, or directed, so that by one process it destroys and by another one it heals. Bulwer Lytton was an esotericist, I'm not saying it right, interested in things like spiritualism and animal magnetism, and the way of the coming race is written, the Smoky God, could give someone the impression that this is a retelling of actual events. Like I said, if you're interested in reading The Coming Race, you can find it for free on Amazon. It's a bit of a chore to read, but the information about the Vril and the subterranean race sets up a lot in regards to the occult mythology and the hollow earth theory, you all. I think I'm going to end that right there, you all, because I think that really is it's a different point of view. It really is. Gelitapagagus. Man, this is annoying. Then why do you want to even look at it? Let me help him out. There, Susan, honey, you are doing such a wonderful job. You really are, Susan. That's what I'd like to say. You are. Yeah, you all hit that like button, because you know what? This was really, really interesting. Yeah, all of it. And just think, there's so much information out there. And that's from 2013. So that's much 2013. It's 9 years ago. Yes, Plays in the Dirt. I'm sure, I hope it was a good chat. I really do, you all, because so I like that. A mystical fluid-like substance, and the in hollow earth inside there, living to be around 800 years old, and then you have Methuselah. So there's really a lot of parallels. There really is in Thoth and all of it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There was something too, Mr. Karen Crow, the brand name, their head. Yeah, there. I got that pulled up, what you're talking about. Let me show you. I got that pulled up too. Let me do this over here. So I'm just going to do this right here. Since you're mentioning it, we'll just stick it in here at the very end is what we'll do. Right there. Vril Web's Comics or something like that. Right here. Types of Vril. Ancient lizards. These are smaller creatures. Of the three, although they're small, they are carnivorous, unforgiving, and they prefer to attack in packs. They are very strong. Before they attack, they like to scare their prey, as the adrenaline is said to enhance the taste of the human. Oh, I'm not going to read that, you all. No, and they have a droning process. Type 2 Vril is much, there's not much detail. It's clear that they're a gnome-like creature. A variety of differences among this type. They are capable of parasiting a human host. Hence, the hat that covers the proboscis. The entities, the little evil entities, entities are fundamental basis of most fairy tales and folklore. Trolls, leprechaun, pixies, gnomes, sprites, elves, fairies, imps, devils, demons, etc. Type 3 Vril, routinely mistaken for ETs, commonly referred to as greys. They do not drone. They're extremely strong. Their brains are in their neck. I never knew that. They are most dominant of the three types, and they are reported to require a methane oxygen mix for optimal breathing and long-term survival. Sulfur pits deep underground provide for their requirements. So they need methane oxygen for optimal breathing and sulfur pits underground. Yes, you all. That's disgusting. It is. No, I don't want to read it. Oh, okay. I've already put this on here. So you all can read that if you want to read that. You can. But I am going to be going, and I want to thank you all for coming on here. I do. And that was interesting. I liked it. I liked reading about the fluid, a mystical fluid substance that was like very powerful, healing, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's right, you all. So I guess so. There's many different ways one could look at it. Yeah. Um, boom. Magical inner dimension we cannot see in 3D. Yes, with love and light. That's right, you all. Um, so I am going to go, you all. I like reading the comments. Thank you again, Susan, honey. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you all. This is interesting. I personally liked it myself. I liked reading it. It's even better when you can read and share with others. It is. So thank you once again, you all. That's right. Yeah. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Wait, did I say that I already do that? Did I do the hello wherever you are, you all? I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna say it again. I think I did, but I'm gonna say it again. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you all. Yeah. Thank you. Good night.